Good evening. Hello, hello. Right, let me see. Oh, I think I need to change the language on Twitch. Give a second. I hope you're all doing well. Mark, hello to you. MAN, nice to see you too. Hello. And again, hello, Ghost. Hi, Fly. Leela, hello. Voyager, hello. Captain Tolerance, hello. Complex Track, hello as well. Let me just change the language here on Twitch so that it does show correctly. German. There. Oh no, hang on. Oh, not German. English. Hold on. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, English. Right, finished. Cool. Excellent. On YouTube, let me sort of fish cop. Moin moin. Had a good laugh at Wilhelm. How to say that was funny. Elias, hello. Topper, hello. And Svenja, hello. Nice to see you. Yeah, Svenja, vielen Dank. Dankeschön. Yeah, Svenja, if you have any questions, and if you really, need an explanation in German, just let me know. I'll give you an explanation in German as well. No problem at all. Bits, hello. Airbus05, hello. Bob, hello. Franz, hello as well. And then first of all, Avenger Orion coming in with a 71 months resub. Avenger, thank you so much.
Could new subscribers please make your way
so we are back in XP12 in this beauty.
Thank you.
In the A320NEO.
Good evening at Black Box 711 and chat.
So Lido, Avenger, hello to you. And once again, Avenger, thank you so much. Yeah, no Royce, Captain Tolerance. I plan to depart in about 35 minutes. I hope we can do that. Yeah, and while we prepare the aircraft, I'll talk a little bit about the incredible stream we had 2 days ago with Captain A320. Sven, I know it may be frustrating to some of you who don't understand German. I fully understand that. But maybe one day we'll be able to get him to speak English with us, and then we'll do a English version of what we did the other day. But yeah, it was interesting because the
Met report time 1550 Zulu. Automated weather message, expect vectoring for ILS approach.
There we go. Because the app that we used, so the Your Controls app for Microsoft Flight Sim actually worked pretty well, which was surprising. It's not perfect, but it did have good connection. And the only issue we really ran into was when Sven had a problem with his version in the Phoenix with the high IDG temperatures. But that's not due to Your Controls, that was due to a bug in the Phoenix. So yeah, Ghost, happy to hear that you enjoyed it. What do you mean? No, hang on, 1640. Don't get me confused. Elias, cool. Elias, thanks for the feedback. Yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed it, Elias. Yeah, and do it again, TV. I'll get to that in a second regarding the latest feedback that I've been getting from my community regarding the Toliss A320 and 319. It's quite interesting, but we'll see. So I'm just going to go do the preparations over at panel. So left to right, bottom to top. The strobe lights, since we are on VATSIM, I will leave in off so that it doesn't flash for the people. Nav light number 1. Seatbelts, no smoking signs. Do that quickly. Voyager, wie geht's hier? Voyager, amazing weather we have here, right? And it's gonna stay sunny through all the next week. Crazy. And Nate, hello to you. Yes, happy Mother's Day. Yes, indeed. Yes, you're right. Do it again has had another wonderful landing. Düsseldorf, another -123 G. It looks like you've nailed it then. I honestly, I don't know how my landing will be today, but so apparently there was a flight model change here at Toliss, so in regards of the flare mode. So people were saying that the flare now feels a bit better. So we'll see. We'll see how I get used to it. So one thing, I don't know if it's just me imagining it, but one thing that really keeps putting me off in the Toliss, or did put me off, was when I was at 50% power, flared, and then when I put the thrust lever to idle, I always had a feeling that the nose lowered, which shouldn't happen. So even though I pulled back on the stick and kept the back pressure to counteract that flare mode, it was still lower the nose quite drastically once I cut the thrust. So I'll definitely have a look at that today, trying to focus on especially that feeling, and I'll see how it goes. Yeah, and then people were saying, no, you've got this wrong. The nose down pitch only happens after touchdown because of the ground friction model. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it feels today. Yeah, Ghost, no worries, no worries. Bits, hello. Espresso tonic, really? Bits, what goes into espresso tonic? Sounds interesting. Yes, I'll be using the tiller. So I have the tiller on my side here. I'm not sure if the camera is... No. Hang on, what's this? Oh, no, it's lagging. It does that sometimes. I don't know why. Let me see if I can reconnect. That sometimes helps. Sometimes it does help, but sometimes not. So espresso, tonic water, and some ice cubes. I guess I have to give that a try. I may have to give that a try. Oh no. It's still lagging. Ay. Now it's frozen even, isn't it? Hang on. Oh, that's the wrong window anyways. What's happening? There you go. No, that's frozen. I hope I can get that working quickly. Let me just check. I have a feeling that probably now I would have to restart the OBS software. But that shall not keep us from doing a proper flight. So yeah, so you can see that I'm using the tiller today at the side. Yeah, and the plan for today is as follows. No, not this. Hang on. Today. That's what I wanted to see. So Hamburg is going to Hamburg first. It's a VATSIM event. They have a... Let me see how they call it exactly. They call it... it's the 836th port anniversary, Hafengeburtstag. So there's lots of ships in the real world right now, in reality. But yeah, VATSIM is celebrating that as well. So it's the 836th port anniversary in Hamburg. That's the event going on today. So you'll see that in a minute that we do have a bit of extra fuel. So it will be busy. Now, that's one thing. The other thing is, somebody was telling me that they found that there's a difference in the CG and the loading info regarding the Toliss ISCS and the actual loading in the sim. We'll have a look in a second. So what we're going to do, let me just quickly check our flight plan here. Hey Avenger, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks again for the 71 months. Yeah, Harbour birthday. Yeah, exactly. That's what it means. Borzanak, hello to you. Nice. Cool. You'll be controlling Scandinavia in the beginning of the next weekend. And Dubai. Nice. GG's. Well done. Yeah, so, oh yeah, and the second flight today is then from Munich to Palma de Mallorca in the Indibels A350 version 1.09, latest update. And the reason is I am going to go on holiday tomorrow to Palma de Mallorca in reality. So I thought I might as well fly myself virtually to Palma tonight. And yeah, so I'll be off 2 weeks on holiday. And so the next stream after today will be, I think, on the 27th of May. So a bit of a break there. In the meantime, we got 60 tons zero fuel weight. The flight time is planned to be 57. No live stream off from holiday. No, 57 minutes to Hamburg. The weather should be absolutely splendid. 5.4 ton blocks plus extra. Yeah, so that's the thing. It's not showing the extra in here. I did put in some extra fuel, I think half an hour. So let me put in 6.4. And for the zero fuel weight, I'm not sure why it's not taken these oh, hang on. That's why. Let me just check real quickly here. So we go in it. Let's do this here. Then it should set the values there. Easy, Dankeschön. Ich danke dir. There we go, now it's correct. So that's got 60 tons, zero fuel weight, 6.4 tons of fuel, which I'll take as well. Wonderful. And let's check that against the weight and balance here. So we've got in the X plane, so fuel is okay. And there was a oh yeah, so the center of gravity, 39.7 centimeters. Now, I don't know exactly. Yeah, that's a different value from the beginning, or from the starting point of the mean average chord, which doesn't have to be at the nose. It can be anywhere else, in front of the aircraft even, to show where the center of gravity is located. Now, I don't know. I have no idea how that relates. I mean, that's within the limitation. So if that's the limit of the aircraft, so it's like 4/5 to the rear. Well, I really can't make much sense of that. The 66 tons, 66.3, that's correct as well. So the total weight is correct. It's just I think the feedback that I got was that someone was saying that that apparently the CG is different from the aircraft CG. But I honestly don't know. I mean here, yeah, I would agree that here the CG is more in the middle, not so far aft. But I don't know what to make of that data. Hey, Jalen, good evening. German Sim Aviation at the moment, like I said, I'm going to have 2 weeks holiday. Also ich bin 2 Wochen auf Urlaub. And then after that, I'll get in contact with Sven and see what he's up to. And yeah, I'll have to see how I'm going to work in June. But yeah, we'll try to get something going again as soon as possible, yeah. Yeah, Nate, exactly. So that's the Harbour birthday in Hamburg. 836 Harbour birthday, it says. So Stuttgart ATIS is online. Let me fetch that so that we know which runway we're departing from. So we do have the fuel. We've got the payload inserted. Cosnex 9. And Dinos, servus. Yeah, and a big thank you to the Captain A320 community, which was really nice to me. Gave me a lovely welcome. Some great questions that we got, and I have to say, I mean, some people were asking You know, if Sven and me wouldn't be interested in doing normal podcasts, and then we were like, yeah, but I mean, what we do, you know, we fly together in a simulator, right, really nicely and chilled, and then you know, we talk. We literally have a podcast flying simulators, right? So for us, it's like more like a. So people said flycast, right? So I think that's really what's so cool about it. And then you just, there is no set program in the sense of what we discuss and what we talk about. It's more always interactive, which is cool. While a podcast is really just, you know, finding topics before you start and then just go through these topics that you have selected. But maybe that's not really what interests people watching or listening. So I quite like the concept of doing these shared flights and yeah, kind of, you know, discussing really world topics. Yeah. yeah. Well, I really had to laugh about that with Willem. Yeah. Oh, Ghost, we never denied that, Ghost. We never denied that. So that's cool. We've got runway 07, which means we're going to have a very short taxi out, which is great. And then we have 080 at 9. Cabo Cape, 22 degrees, lovely weather. QNH 1011. Trenton Nosig on an airborne monitor advisory 22.8. All right. Put that in there. Well, maybe that changes because we will have some more sectors coming online. So Stuttgart should also be staffed. Good. Okay, so alternate is Hanover, 1.1 tons extra fuel. So if I go back to page 1, Hanover, we've got 1.1 ton. Put that in here. And so we have about 40 minutes extra time today. Hey, Ghost, well done. Where have you loaded, Ghost? Where have you loaded in? Which parking position? Let me just check. Hey, yeah, flycast, right? I mean, that's an interesting word. Yeah? Hey, Nizam. Yeah, maybe, so Nizam, maybe they finally listened to the community, which would be great. That would be great. That would take a lot of criticism out, right? So I would really welcome that. Cool. Let me do this way. So there we go. So we have the departure route Okiba. So departure Okiba out of 07 will be the Okiba 4 hotel. There's only one departure route available. You can insert that. So now we have the departure route Okiba, then it's November 851 to Rimki, then Rimki Zulu 99 Lore, direct to Mazek, direct Elnat, and then direct, okay, disregard, it's Papa 605 from Elnat all the way to Nolgo. Yeah, Nolgo, and then we arrive. Let me have a look at the Navigraph. 8 is for Hamburg. Just searching first of all for the Okiba 4 hotel overlay. There it is. Good. Okay, so airports, Hamburg, ATIS. ATIS. Currently they have, so this, I think this is real life, right? Real world ATIS. So they have currently ILS approach 15 and the wind is 090 at 10. So 15 for landing. Cool. So we have planned Nolgo 05, which is one. So we're gonna have 15. So let's do Hamburg arrival ILS 15. Now we have to be careful. Sometimes in these add-ons, they have a weird kind of logic how to select arrival routes and the transitions. So approach via. So we do have a transition here. So if I just quickly call up the approach ILS 15, that's a standard approach. However, there will be a Nolgo arrival. So the 3 Delta, let's have a look. Nolgo 3 Delta. Disregard. So this is actually the arrival. It's not a transition. So we're just going to select a Nolgo 3 Delta and approach via. At the end is 457. So that's the end point. We'll select that here. So insert that. Have a quick look. Make sure that it's correct. So Nolgo, then it's 406, 407, and so on until we get to 457, and then onto the ILS. Cool. So that's correct. All inserted. So init A page, init B page. Although init A page, let me just load the wind data. Hey Abiyama, moin. Nice to see you. Oh really? More buses in the apron than in the sky. City. Oh yeah, that's true. There's a lot of buses here. So very little wind up here. Is that correct? Yeah, look at that. Very, very little wind over Germany right now. Descent winds all in. Fantastic. Cool. So what we'll do now is we're going to check the total distance. 368, which is a lot more than we have here on the flight plan. And the reason being is that I don't have a departure route here in the OFP, and I don't have the arrival route in the OFP. So that's why there's a discrepancy here right now, but that's fine. And there's potential, obviously, later on to get a shortcut into Hamburg. So difference. Good database until the 14th of May. Fantastic. So flight plan RATNAV for departure. So let me just do Stuttgart. We'll have the list here. Departure, and that was Okiba for hotel. So initial climb is going to be up to 5,000 feet. And it says intercept Stuttgart, so that already answers the question what would it put into the radio nav page. So Stuttgart 072 until 9.8 Stuttgart, turn left 354 degree track. So it got that at 351 degrees to Nootka, and then it's a 332, 330 here in the FMS to Okiba. That looks okay. So that is as it should be, all correct. And we're departing obviously to the east. And initial climb 5,000. Sector is 3,500. Initially 4,800. And the highest obstacle is here, 2,300 feet. So we have diff rips. So performance, takeoff performance, 07 full length, the wind, temperature, QNH. Now Sven did say that they actually still use 1 degree more and 1 hectopascal less than the 8 is. They still do air conditioning off, auto, compute, 66 off. Perfect. All right, so if we take the lower V1, all right, that's the V1 min. Obviously, then we have a lot of stop margin, because if we decide to continue from a speed of 170 knots onwards, we have a lot more stop margin, but of course it's going to take ages until we lift off. So if we take the upper V1, so V1 max, we have 350 meter stop margin. That's still fine for me. That's good enough dry runway. So we'll take the upper V1, then we got VR 148 and V2 150. So let me do that just here. Hang on, it didn't do the correct disregard. So we want... Interesting enough, here I can't change the temperature. That is given, is it? So let me just try that again. So 22 diagonal 1010. Oh, maybe it's the other way around. So let me just set 1010 in here. 3 times. Yeah, there we go. Dry. We do a flap 1 takeoff. Right, let's try this. Hey, TW Simulations, Gute. Yeah, so Aviamar, so again, we don't do that in the 787 as an example. Nah, still gives me different values. Okay, we're going to ignore that. So just going to enter those values that I got from the EFD. So in the 787, we actually take the conditions broadcasted by the latest ATIS. At short range, what they do is they make everything 1 degree worse, or just one setting worse than the actual. So the actual QNH right now is 1011. So the idea is to put 1010 in here, and also 1 degree more means a little penalty, right? Because the actual temperature is 21 degrees. So the idea is that if you taxi out, so after you've done your calculations, have entered that into the MCU, so then once you taxi out and conditions actually change a little bit to the worse, it would mean that you already have that covered, and you don't have to do another calculation while you're taxiing out. So that's the idea. But again, it depends on the aircraft type. On the Boeing fleet, we don't do that anymore. Which means if it gets worse, then we have to recalculate. Fish cup depends on the wind, but yeah, sure. You could theoretically get some warm air from these, power plants, or if there's any bigger factory that puts out a lot of heat, then yeah, it can do some it can give you some turbulence, i.e. some lift. Hey Blu-ray, wie geht's? So Stuttgart, we have Stuttgart NEDP 2, so 2280. The elevation is 1280, yeah. Oh, 2280. There we go. So 2280. And the engine out acceleration is 2,900, and we just go 072 to 20 miles to hold. Simple enough. So 2,900. And we have fixed info Stuttgart 007. 072 degrees. 20 miles to hold. Secondary copy active. quick return plan. ILS 07, no star, no via. And that pretty much concludes our preparations. So let me have a look. So that was our old briefing concept, pilot flying, pilot monitoring. There was a slight change. I may have to change that document again. But in principle, and you saw that maybe, so the German-speaking, hey Daki, Dankeschön, German-speaking people that, with the shared flight, I did with Captain A320, Sven, the other day. When we do our briefing, it's an interactive briefing. So both the pilot flying and the pilot monitoring are involved. However, it always starts out, first of all, the departure briefing with the captain explaining the taxi out. So let me just give you the airport layout here. So taxi out, currently position 11. Pushback maybe facing west to taxi Lima 3 Oscar and then Kilo, or we face east or northeast, and then it's going to be Mike Lima 2 Kilo, or maybe even India, depending on the traffic at the runway. The thing is that you can see here hotspot, that circle. Let me get the other page open then. Info. Let me see if we get some hotspot info here. Normally it's written here, but it's not this time. Hotspots. Sometimes there is no explanation here in Navigraph for some reason. But that's also no problem. Departure. Communications, high intensity. So nothing to worry about. All right, so hotspot is here. So really, we have, hey Ralph, we have to be careful at this Lima 2 before we get towards the runway, because there's a lot of traffic. All right, you can see that kind of spider's web there of all the taxi lanes coming in. The airport chart, hang on. So the this one here. Okay, let me see. Oh, there we go. Okay, so yeah, hotspot. Thanks, Abhima. Thank you much. So intersecting and convergent taxiways, right? Strict adherence to taxiway centerline is required during parallel operations. All right. So that's the hotspot there. So we cover that. Then we're going to take full length Kilo, departing 07 on the Okiba for hotel departure. Already briefed that, up 5,000, MSAs 4,800, and then 3,500. So yeah, extra fuel. We have about 40 minutes extra fuel for Hamburg due to that event today. In case of engine failure, we proceed straight up runway track, 20 miles if we need it. Acceleration is in 2,900 feet. Bar row and accelerate, clean up, and then we climb 5,000 radar vectors back for the approach. We are at 65 tons roundabout, and the max landing weight, I think it was 66, wasn't it here? Hang on. Is that 66 tons? Even more, 67.4 tons max landing weight. So we are below max landing weight. Return without any issues anytime possible. Anything else regarding threats that we have to mitigate? Currently, I don't see good weather. I don't see any bigger threats right now. Cool. Then let me read the first checklist. We've got cockpit preparation checklist. Gear pins covers removed. Fuel quantity 6,400 kilograms. Let me just start the APU here. Then we have seat belts on. ADIRS. Nav. And we have Barbara Ref 1010 set 3 times. Checked. So Eurowings, you loaded in Eurowings next to me. There we go. What? That's not Eurowings, and that's not even, that's an A300 or something. Well, yeah, the model matching here on X-Plane isn't the best. Oh, hang on, there's the Eurowings. Maybe that's you then. To the right, there we go. AP is running. 0523 due to work. Okay. Approach by really. I just checked the ATIS Fishcom. It said 15. There we go. Available. Yeah, okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. Ground services, chocks away. Perfect. Then let me have a look. We have no SEPA DLC right now. Oh, it does. PDC is available. PDC data link Stuttgart. Okay, let me try that. So let me go. Oh, there's a different menu here. So ATC. No, hang on. Page 2. Departure clearance. There it is. It's so funny how you always have some different menus in these add-ons. So currently I can see we have information echo. Let me fetch that real quickly. Oh, Emma, you're flying along. Lovely. And PDC did not work for you. Let me try that. Let me try that. You probably are correct. Yeah, it's not going out, strangely. Oh, you already departed? Really? No. Too fast for me, I'm afraid. So, grant 118605. Okay. Let's do it via voice. Yeah, and I have my copy and SimBrief is all inserted, so that's all there. But no problem. Stuttgart, good Abend. Lufthansa 71 Bravo, information echo, requesting clearance Hamburg, please.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, Stuttgart, ground, hello. Cleared Hamburg, Okiba for route departure out of 07. Flight plan route, climb initially 5,000 feet and squawk 1,000.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, cleared to Hamburg via the Okiba. 4 hotel departure runway 07, climb via SIT, maintain 5,000 and squawk 1,000.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, if correct. Eurowings 3, Lima Charlie, vector departure approved.
Good. Alright, so that's that. We're pretty much finished. So let me do the before start items here. That's already done. Squawk is set and on. So let's read the before start checklist. Parking brake is set. Takeoff speeds thrust. We have 148, 148, 150, flex 72. Windows closed. And the beacon is on before start check is complete.
Hamburg 27 Mike, hold upon runway 07 via Mike at Kilo.
As always, guys, if ATC is too quiet or too loud, let me know, please. Ah, okay, Fischkopf, understand, yeah. Lufthansa 71 Bravo, stand 11, request push and start.
Push and start approved for east.
Push and start approved, facing east. Lufthansa 71 Bravo. Okay, so it's going to be this way around.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready. Ground to cockpit. Toliss driving up.
Heroic 3, Lima Charlie, push and start approved for east.
I love the raccoon painting. It always looks nice. It's fine, thank you, Voyager, dankeschön. What's the time? 44. We're actually doing really good. I aimed for 40, pushback. So only like 5 minutes behind right now. Not too bad. No, Aryamar. That's just for calculations. So we have the actual QNH set in the aircraft. You just check that again, make sure it's still current.
All doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Maybe that's why you asked, like 1011. Disregard. No, that's why. That's why you asked. Yeah, okay, exactly. Yeah, good point. So we take the actual QNH. Good catch. So I'm going to wait until we are lifted. There we are, now lifting up.
Hamburg 27 Mike, Monitor Unicom 12 dabei.
Monitor Unicom, Hamburg 27
Now
Mike.
connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Brakes released.
Starting pushback, and you may start the engines.
Good. Ignition start. Now, it does have a cooling cycle, and since we have the Pratt & Whitneys, what we can do, put dual cooling on, and that way, by starting engine 2, it will open both start valves. You see that now here? So both of them, both N2s, and are running up, performing a cooling. Now that the cooling time is over, it'll close the engine 1 start valve again and just start the engine 2. So for 5 seconds it's not really worth it, but just a demonstration. And that's supposed to then increase or make the engine start a bit quicker for the Neos. Yeah, so Franz, it has a cool. I don't know. So I don't know exactly how the Toliss simulates this in terms of how long the aircraft was on the ground right now. But indeed, if it's like on the ground for several hours, you would assume that the engine has cooled down enough so that the shaft is already straightened out again. Hey, good. 346, how you doing? And Josh, hello to you as well. Yeah, Abiamar, wonderful. See you later then, maybe. Take care. It's kind of weird.
Operation complete. Please set parking brake.
That shouldn't really matter. Brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Alright, good engine start. Let's do the after start flows. Flaps 1. dual cooling off as well. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, and the rudder full left, full right. I've never explained this, but Sven actually had a really cool explanation, which I learned right at the beginning of my transition to the 320 a long time ago, but I totally forgot about that. So you see those brackets here, the top and the bottom one. You see how the bottom one only has is covering 3 spoiler pairs, while the top one is covering 4 spoiler pairs. So what this means is the lower one is just a speed brake usage. So in flight, when you use the speed brakes, only those speed brakes will come up. While if you're using the ailerons, these 4 spoilers will actually deflect. And then on the ground, all of them... Oh no, hang on. I thought all of them would deflect on the ground. Alright, maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, that's the meaning of these brackets here. Quite interesting. Hey, Codeine. Cool, so we're good for disconnect. He's already taxiing, fantastic. Just waiting for the pin to be removed. Then we'll do the after start checklist. Anti-ice off. Ecam status is checked. No status there.
Disconnected and bypass pin has been
so
removed.
pitch
And
trim
on the left. I'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
is up 0.4. Rudder trim neutral. And that's the after start checklist complete. There he drives.
Ground, good day, Cover 1, Go 10, request push and start.
All clear.
Monitor Unicorn 1 to display for departure, bye-bye.
Oh, they don't have tower online right now. Oh, that's a shame.
Condor 1
We're too early.
Traffic behind, supply.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, request taxi.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo. Are we able for depart? Destination India out of 107.
Yeah, we're able India. Lufthansa 71 Bravo.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, thank you. Holding point 107 by Mike Lima to India.
Mike Lima to India, holding point 07, Lufthansa 71 Bravo. Yeah, so
1-4 Tango, when clear of traffic behind.
Let's go.
Push and start approved.
Clear left, clear right.
Clear of traffic guide, push start approved.
Lights
Facing
on.
East, Cover 1 for Tango.
Takeoff performance. I'm going to put a 300 meter shift in here for India. And so it's going to be 148, 148, 150. Still the same. Flex remains at 72, so no changes there. It's just a little bit less stop margin, but I'm still happy with that on a dry runway. That's fine. So everything remains the same. Here comes a brake check. Brakes are working. MVN, hello, good evening. And NW Racing, also hello to you. And Dirkster, hello. So here comes Lima 2. And then we take India. I'm not sure, maybe the Eurowings isn't ready yet or something. Right, let's check the cabin. And there we have holding point India. Taxi checklist.
71 Bravo, monitor your recovery to for departure, bye bye.
22.8 for departure, Lufthansa 7 or Bravo. Vielen Dank, bis zum nächsten Mal, ciao.
Bye.
Good, so then we've got flight controls checked, flap setting, config 1+F. We have radar PWS on and auto. Engine mode selector is normal. And economy mode, we have takeoff no blue. Oh, he's just departing. Okay, that's fine. Right, let's get the TCAS on. Let's make sure that nobody is in the approach. I'm not sure if I have to put that to on. Because I'm not seeing the Eurowings, strangely enough, on here. Stuttgart traffic, Lufthansa 7 on Bravo, holding short 07. Is anyone in the approach, runway 07?
I'm flight sky 8545. Stuttgart traffic.
Right, he's departed. Oh, there we go. Now I've got him on TCAS. Okay, so TCAS is definitely working. And Stuttgart traffic, Lufthansa 7 on Bravo, lining up 07 and departing Okiba Hotel in Stuttgart. Yeah, Dirkster, it's a great great way to check. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let me have a quick look again. There's nobody there. So one more thing to do, and that is I'm going to put the shift 300 meters in here as well. Clock to run 5 miles is fine. That's good enough separation. Chrono on. All the lights are on. Strobe lights is on. Let's go. Takeoff. Manflex 72 SAS runway auto thrust blue. 100 knots. V1, rotate. Pause the rate, gear up. Thrust tank climb, out blue, auto thrust.
Stuttgart traffic, Condor 115.0, lining up runway 07 for departure to the north in Stuttgart.
Yeah, I love how the aircraft just ever so slightly moves about, so not so still as in other add-ons or other flight sim platforms. So that's what I mean with it feels a little bit more alive. Out star, flaps 0, speed check, flap 0. Hey Brennard, wie geht's dir? Here comes the flaps. Brenold, beautiful weather, right? Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. And apparently it's going to be stay that nice all through next week. So level off here, 5,000 feet. Yeah, love it. Autopilot. I'm gonna climb initially, let's do 250, thrust climb out blue. 250. Exactly, there's the power plant we were talking about initially, right? So here's the power plant. So that's if you fly towards 2.5 on the approach, you could get some little bit turbulence there, yeah, exactly.
Stuttgart traffic, corner 1 for takeoff clear, Following 079 Stuttgart.
Transition, altimeters, standard, set, 77.
Camera saved.
Yeah. So Astur, that's correct. That's one of the things I'm criticizing as well. So especially when you have very strong crosswind conditions here in X-plane, you need an unusual high amount of aileron input, and then in some cases, full aileron will not be enough, and that obviously is unrealistic. That's why you have your crosswind limits. Now the Neo also has a problem that it has some it has lower climb speeds, and you can see now the pitch is 8 degrees. Right, so hence we can't release the cabin for service yet because the trolleys would tip over. So what we're going to do, we're going to put selected speed. Let's try 290. We may even need a bit more. Let's do 300. So since we've passed level 100, I'm going to put secondary flight plan copy active. Clear the fix info. And Brenold, you mentioned this, right? I've noticed that as well now here in the Toliss, for example. So if you select the first waypoint, it doesn't give you the fix info there. So the second one does, and there you can clear out whatever you've put in. RatNav also clear. And then the last thing to do is check the pitch, which is now below 7 degrees, seatbelts. And airports on. Good to go. Brenold asks... Ghost. Yeah, that was your job, Ghost. Blame. Hey, Andreas. Yeah, so Brenold, it's okay. So the your controls app in Microsoft is okay. It's not bad. So it reminds me a lot of the shared flight at the beginning. So there's a couple of things you have to do to make sure that synchronization happens reliably. But overall, it was fun. Yeah, that there weren't bigger issues during the flight that we had to cover. So all in all, from my side, It was great. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, Astor, yeah, exactly. No, Brenold, that's the thing. So that's why, Brenold, I want Sven, so Captain 320, to get into X-Plane. Because that way, we could actually go and simulate some really interesting failures. So what we could do here, for example, hydraulics, right? We could even fail 2 systems. And with shared flight, this actually works. So with shared flight, if you insert a failure and apply that with keybind that you have to set prior, then both pilots will get that failure. Hey, Max, send that failure to Max with Sven, yeah. Right. Hey, Sofian, thank you much. Yes, we are. Yeah. Yeah, we're both real world pilots, yeah. And Andrea said we've almost passed over your village. Nice. This is something, guys, this is new for the latest beta on X-Plane. It keeps saying missing waypoint runway 30, Echo Delta Quebec Charlie. So it's not a big issue, just press OK, but right now the latest beta from X-Plane has that issue. Kimi, thank you much as well. Yes, it's map enhancement, and I personally think that map enhancement works more reliably, at least for me, and it does take less download rate, so it doesn't affect my streaming, which is great. Oh really? Max on Stuttgart has 0 nav data for you. Yes, Brenold. He's actually a training captain, Brenold. Mohamed, hello to you. It's an issue with beta 5. Okay, thanks. Yeah, so Sofian, I mean, it's always a good idea to not just lay back and drink coffee and look out the window, right, without a plan B. So you have to always kind of look around you, you know, where's airports, what's the weather situation there today, just in case you have some bigger issues like a fire on board, smoke on board, a medical emergency, right? The same goes, for example, if you fly over, let's say, the Alps, you would think about plan B in terms of what happens if you have a rapid decompression and you have to do an emergency descent. Like the question then comes, how low can I actually fly right now? Hey, Kenko! Give me a round of applause for that, Kenko. So guys, you all know Kenko. Wonderful, wonderful personality, streaming on Twitch as well. Big shout out. And make sure you check out Kenko's channel as well. Kenko, did you fly the 350 by any chance? Well, let's continue up higher. Hey Kenko, nice to see you. Kenko, you know, I was looking for you in Lelystad. I didn't see you in Lelystad. I saw London controller, Jamie, but I didn't see you. So you did fly the 350, nice. And how was it going? Any issues? Because I'm trying to fly that today as well. You were there all weekend, really? How come I didn't see you? Yeah, next time. So no, Astor says no issues. Good, because I'm going to fly it on the next flight. Oh, you had a few issues, Kenko? What issues? Nothing major, okay. Just you went to Alpha Floor, okay. It didn't go, okay. Hey, Jehu. Below, I actually am using the payware version. Because I think in the payware version you can cache scenery. So a skill issue though, no, not a VATSIM. Okay, no worries. Yeah, so Kenko, I heard someone was having issues with the EGT on engine start. Let's get to speed. Oh, that's a low speed line. So he couldn't start the engines. No, he's not. Kenko can fly. I know he can fly. He's not bad. No, below. This is also the BSS sound pack. So I did try out the other sound pack first, and then now at the moment I'm using the BSS sounds. Stop being nice. What you mean? Come on. Oh, Brennard, are you in by any chance? Brennard, how do I lift that 10-minute chat delay? Yeah, there's a command, Brennard. What's the command? So that people can... Yeah, you already did. Thank you much, Brennard. Thank you so much for that. Kenko, thank you much. That's really kind.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box infotainment experience. New subscribers should now pick up their past first class. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Kenko, one more question for you. Are you planning to do some real-world flying? Either get your PPL or maybe even look for a career as an airline pilot? I'm not sure, Green Dot, what you mean? A registration code from a Columbia crashed Cessna? Really? No. Yeah, so this is map enhancement. Yeah, exactly, Ruben. Okay, yeah, okay. Oh, that's a shame, Kenko. But yeah, PPL, keep the fingers crossed, Kenko, that you can get your PPL. I mean, these days, with these aircraft... With the avionics these aircraft have these days, it's already absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I know getting the PPL is expensive, no doubt. But the cool thing is, at least, I mean, in Germany, for example, when you get your PPL, you can actually then... after I think it's only 3 more hours, flying hours, you could get the ultralight license. And the ultralight aircraft these days are, so cool already. And those hours actually count also for your PPL. And you can rent ULs, really good ULs, for anyway between 90 to 100 euros or pounds. So maybe it's the same in the UK, and then yeah, afterwards it's going to be a bit cheaper to maintain the license. Astor says oil temperature behaves more realistic now. Okay. Yeah, I'll check that later. Yeah. Ace Pilot, hello. I'm curious. Now first, which registration? Oh, you're talking about so not me, Jim Green Dot. You're talking to HK2184. I was getting worried there for a minute. More to ask, which simulator is better in terms of flying characteristics, like handling? Well, so X-Plane, in my opinion, X-Plane feels more realistic. within limitations. So the limitation is, so I would say anything up to 15 knots of crosswind is nice. It feels very realistic. The moment it goes towards 20 and above with a crosswind value, then it becomes unrealistic. Ah, okay, so your HK flight simulations, nice, okay. Nice, okay, HK, fantastic. Yeah, I'll use the Bing maps below, Bing maps, Bing maps, yeah. So the UL license, sport pilot license, is a one-way street. The hours only count for keeping the PPL. Yeah. But yeah, but so the thing is, Fishcup, my idea was that you start out and get your PPL license, and then once you have your PPL license, then you get the UL license, and then these hours we fly UL also count for PPL, right? That was my understanding. Ah, okay, green dot. Yeah, now I fully understand. Fantastic. Yeah, okay, so Kenko, once again, thank you so much for the raid. All the best. I'll try to catch you on one of your streams soon. Thank you so much, Kenko, for the raid. Take care, have a good one. No, not CPL. No, PPL. Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, Kenko. Take care. Vectorraum, hello. A cheap option to keep, which I know in Austria, is to fly touring motor gliders. Okay. So touring motor gliders also count for SAP hours. Okay, interesting. Yeah, well, Ace Pilot, I mean, oh, that's what happens when you look outside the window too much. So let me go vertical speed here. So the thing is with I have the same Ace Pilot, right? I've spent a lot of money on flight simming, but I would say it's still worth it because I'm spending a lot of time in flight simming. Yeah, okay, so Astor, okay, that's understood, yeah. So you have to make sure that the ultralight that you're flying is actually registered as a normal plane, normal airplane. Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. Some great infos here, yeah. Now, 370, was that a planned flight level? Yeah, 370. And then LNAT 360, okay. Just gonna make sure that I'm not running into any airspaces right now. Nope. So the next one is Hamburg approach, 18205. 18205. Yeah, Mohammed, all the best for studying. GG's. Yeah, so what you can see as well, again, X-Plane definitely is getting better now, which is great. I'm really happy to see X-Plane evolve. So the visuals, the lighting, the ground textures with map enhancements, it's just getting better, and that's good. I would just hate to see just one big, flight sim platform out there having a kind of a monopoly. Monopolies are always bad, really. So the next update will bring improvements to the weather radar and the weather. Fantastic. Do I have a link to map enhancements? Yes, sure. Hang on. It's on GitHub, I think. Oh, there we go. It's actually, yeah, thank you much, Mark. Thank you much, Mark. Much appreciated. There's the link. Legend. Thank you, Mark. So we contact Ryan 34710. 34.
Lufthansa 415, reduced speed, Mach decimal 75 or less. Reduced speed is decimal 75, Lufthansa 415.
Ein Hallo, die Lufthansa 71 Bravo, Flight level 370.
71 Bravo, Maastricht radar contact, report your Mach number.
The planned cruising Mach number is, and we are maintaining 0.76, Lufthansa 71 Bravo.
7 Bravo, Roger, maintain decimal 76.
Maintain Mach decimal 76, Lufthansa 71 Bravo. So I'm going to put selected just to make sure that if the wind changes. So the problem always is if you get instructed to fly a certain cruise speed, like we have now just been given 0.76, if you leave that on managed mode, you run into the issue that it's using the cost index, which then varies the cruise speed depending on your wind component. So as an example, let's say we suddenly get a tailwind component of 70 knots, then the FMS will calculate a lower cruise speed to make use of that tailwind. Alright, so you've got to be careful. So whenever you get a instruction to maintain a certain Mach number, do it with selected on the autopilot panel.
Wings 5 Lima, Maastricht, Heller, Ostbox 2015.
Okay, so Arju, let me show you a picture. I want to. So let me just show you the add-ons that I have. Hold on.
Wings to my kilo, distance flight level 250, on conversion speed 300 knots or greater. Distance flight level 250 on conversion 300 knots or greater, Eurowings to my kilo. With the speed control Hotel Monte Unicorn Monte 2 decimal 8.
So that's what I have. So as a PC, then for the Airbus, I have the Thrustmaster water base with the FS Projects Airbus stick. Thrust levers, I have the Honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant with the Flight Sim Factory Airbus 320 throttle set. Hang on, just quiet that down a bit. That's a bit loud, wasn't it? There we go. So the Wing Airbus FCU unit does work. At least I have got the normal FCU panel working, not the EFIS panel. So this part is not working with the Wing, at least not for me. But the FCU is working, yeah. So then for the Boeing, I'm using Brunner force feedback yoke with Thrustmaster or the Thrustmaster Boeing yoke, but normally these days only the Brunner force feedback. And then again the Honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant with the ProDesk Sim 777 add-on. DCS, I'm using the either the Thrustmaster Warthog base with the Viper stick, or I'm using the Boza force feedback base with the MH16 stick. The Thrustmaster Warthog throttles, or the Windwing Orion 2 Viper Ace throttles. And for helicopter, I have the Whirlpool Rotor TCS plus base and the Hawk 60 collective grip. And then additionally, I'm using the IIDB steering tiller, and rudder pedals the MFG crosswinds. Yes, you're in hello. Yeah, so the mobile flight is a free tool, yeah. Not yet. I have to do some more finishing touches on that, Ghost. The Whirlpool Collective is nice. I like it a lot, yeah. Coding, you have a question? What is the correct way to prepare for an RP approach? Coding, normally, I don't know if it's necessary to put that in manually. So really, at least to my knowledge, you just have to make sure that the required is inserted. So for example, 0.3. If that's not automatically inserted, then you would do that yourself. Now be aware. Do you know when 0.3 actually counts in the approach? And how long that counts?
Lufthansa 41 Sierra, contact Bremen radar 125, decimal 855.
Shakovic, I can't really say what is better. So, you know, each simulator has pros and cons. Let's print the ATIS. So it's I can't really say, you know, this is 100% better than the other. I enjoy different flight sim platforms with different add-ons, and I try to make the best out of these add-ons and not worry too much about is that an aircraft behind me there? Lol, it is, isn't it? Right, we're already reaching top descent, guys. This is very quick now. So we have Juliet. ILS, okay, so ILS 1.5, we have that inserted. Transition is 60. And then we got 19 degrees. 050 at 13, so that's a bit of crosswind. So that would already be interesting to see how that works today. And 1016. Let's try. Normally I'll be intrigued to take config 3, but apparently the Toliss has received an update regarding its flight model, the flare mode, so the flare behavior. So I am going to try it out with config full. And the ILS 1.5 has a minimum of 260, Charlie 260. For the Radnav, I'm going to put in Ulster and Hamburg. So Alf and Hamburg. Alf and Hamburg. Alf and Hamburg. For the Mr. Prosh. Good. No, I don't use P3D anymore. That is something that I've deleted due to problems with the amount of hard drive space I have available.
Lufthansa 7 Bravo, descent flight level 250, rate of descent 2000 feet per minute or greater.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, descent level 250. Did I copy correctly? 2,000 feet per minute or greater?
Affirm 2,000 or greater.
2,000 greater, Lufthansa 71 Bravo. Right, so we got vertical speed, out blue, 250. No, so Franz, that's the thing. People, so this is what people tell me, that for them, the nose doesn't slam down anymore in the flare. So for me, my impression was that I had to pull back initially to flare the aircraft, and then when I reduced the thrust to idle, usually the nose just dropped like crazy. And now people are telling me that something was changed with the flare mode, and so that's why apparently it behaves better now. I know, Brennald, I know. It hurts to think about that. So let's take 1.5. Dry, anti-IS off, 64.5.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo on conversion speed to 70 knots.
On conversion speed 270 knots, Lufthansa 71 Bravo. So what does that mean on conversion? It means when we look at descent performance, the aircraft would change from 0.74, now 0.76, over to 266. And when the changeover happens, that's the conversion altitude or flight level. Now that we are on a selected speed, and I can't change that here, I have to guess a little bit. Although, if I look at my indicator airspeed right now, I can change to speed 270 right now because we are at 270. So 0.76 equals pretty much roughly 270 knots indicated at this altitude. And that relationship changes as we descend and get into warmer air masses, because Mach number is dependent on the outside temperature. But now that relationship was pretty much equal, and hence so now we are on conversion. So now we're going to fly the indicated 270 from here on. Hey crowd, sneaks. Okay, so now we have the landing performance, config full, aircon on, autoback low. Speed back 250 knots, Lufthansa 71 Bravo. So 250 knots. With that descent rate, I'm going to have to use speed brakes. And look again. So the lower bracket shows you which speed brakes extend during flight. Right, while the top bar here shows you the spoilers that extend when you use ailerons. So right now we have 3 dedicated spoilers, and you can also see I'm currently at half deflection. That's the maximum the aircraft will allow us with autopilot on in the 320. So this is like, I don't know, 40 degrees or something, and that's like maybe 25 degrees deflection. You can see that better from the rear view here. So now let's... 25855, vielen Dank, die Lufthansa 71 Bravo. Moin Bremen, Lufthansa 71 Bravo, passing 275, descending 250, speed instructed 250 knots. Bremen, moin, Lufthansa 71 Bravo. That is the correct frequency. 25855.
7 Bravo 3, moin, sorry. Menschliche Bedürfnisse mussten leider auch sein. Descent to flight level 200.
Das ist kein Problem, haben wir volles Verständnis für. And Lufthansa 7 Bravo, descent 200 and speed instructed 250 knots.
Yep, FM, that's coordinate with us.
Will do, Lufthansa 7 Bravo. Oh really, Holger? So you have to pull back, in the sim you have to pull back the lever fully to get half deflection. Hang on. Yeah, you could... Well, not really, Holger. I have a feel like 3/4 maybe. So this is like 3/4. This is full. No change. But I agree, if I put the lever to half, it's not deflecting fully. Yeah, it's like 3/4. Yeah, thanks. And let's put TCAS to low.
So 6 Delta Echo Bremen, moin, identified descent to flight level 11, question to flight level 140.
So that was Juliet. I'm just going to check the Hanover weather real quickly, because that's the alternate that we have.
Flight level 140 and right heading to 110.
Negative, heading 010.
My mistake, 010, right heading for Lufthansa 6 Echo.
No worries. Wing 3 Lima Charlie, contact radar 120.540 and you can resume on rate of descent.
So 2,000 feet to go. So we have landing distance Echo 4 and then Alpha 6. I remember that.
Speed 250 knots side.
Good one. Echo Bremen, good afternoon, identified descent, normal rate to flight level 110.
Normal rate to 110, under 1 Echo.
Lufthansa 7 Bravo, descent normal rate to flight level 110.
Descent flight level 110, normal rate, Lufthansa 7 Bravo. So we have descent out blue 110.
220,
Yeah, so it's correct in the A320 with autopilot on. You will only get roughly half deflection on the speed brakes. It's a system limitation for the 320s. Because of the autopilot behavior at high altitude with the stowing of the speed brakes. They take a long time. So let me just put the aircraft to manual flight. Right, so let me now put speed brakes out fully.
Radar, KM 1458 at
You see now?
KM 1458, Bremen.
Yeah, they are extending more. Right?
Up to 140.
So that was like what we had with autopilot on, like this. And this is full, but only with autopilot off. The problem is, let me put the auto thrust. Oh, see how long they take to retract? It takes ages for them to retract. So the problem is, at high altitude, if you autopilot, just gonna get everything back enough. Thrust idle, descent, out blue enough. So the thing is that at high altitudes with autopilot on, if you allowed full speed brake extension and you would get into a slow speed area, speed back 220 knots, Lufthansa 71 Bravo. And then you know, you would try to retract the spoilers. It just takes too long. So it's more a certification issue that they had apparently. So that's why they changed that behavior. Reynolds, not. I think there was a slight difference between the NEO and the CO 320. Adiola, hello. No, so crowd, I'm using what's called map enhancements. Oh, look at this. We're near, or just north of Hanover. It's a huge practice area for tanks. So the military practices. It's like, I think it's called Bispinger Heide. It's a huge, huge training area. 20540, Dankeschön, tschüss, die Lufthansa 7 Bravo. Oh, careful now with this. Speeds are 220 knots.
Lufthansa 5 Mike, climb to flight level 80.
Flight level 80, Lufthansa 5 Mike.
Lufthansa 8 Papa Tango, turn right.
Reynolds, I don't remember exactly anymore because there's difference between 319, 320, 321. But the 321 and 320 will automatically retract the spoilers for you. So I remember that for the A321, the maximum you were allowed to use the spoilers was with flaps 2. So the moment that you put the flaps to 3 in the 321, the spoilers would retract automatically and give you a caution message. Hamburg, moin, die Lufthansa 71 Bravo. 160 descending 110, speed is 220.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, Bremer identified, hold at Nolgo is published.
Hold Nolgo is published, Lufthansa 7 Bravo. I knew it! I was expecting that.
Sorry about that, heading 20, Lufthansa 415.
So Nolgo holding
120.
is left turns and 004 inbound.
Alpha, turn right, heading 360.
So we get flight plan. Nolgo, hold.
647, turn right, heading 230.
It's already correctly programmed. So insert.
5 Mike, contact Bremen 125855.
There we go. So now it's going to enter. We're already at holding speed.
Lufthansa 7 Mike Papa, turn left, heading
So the green dot would be the preferable speed for holding, because that's the minimum lift to drag ratio speed, meaning for that speed you have the least amount of drag on the aircraft. Of course, it means that also you're not getting very far, because that's a very slow speed. However, and the holding, you don't need to get far. Hey Sim, Egan. Hello, Mr. Egan. Thank you much for the raid. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great stream. What were we up to today?
Austrian Alpha, turn again right, heading 180.
Well, I actually fly less in X-Plane than I do in Microsoft. So the next stream in about an hour's time is in Microsoft 2024, yeah. So today, Hamburg, let me show you another speciality here for Hamburg. When you land 1.5,
turn left, heading 050.
Left heading 050,
so when you land in Hamburg on the 1.5,
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, descent to flight level 80.
descent level 80, Lufthansa 71 Bravo.
Aerowings 2 Mike Kilo, turn
So now I'm going to go to green dot speed. So normally, they expect you to vacate Echo 4. Because if you miss Echo 4, you're going to cross 0523. And 05 isn't used today for departures. So we're going to prepare so that we can leave Echo 4. And that's 1,700 meters.
Lufthansa 7 Alpha Mike, turn left, heading 250.
So with autobrake low, we need about 2,300 meters. So we're going to have to take medium. 1,500. So it would be in between medium and low. So I'm going to select medium autobrake, and then when I see the aircraft is slowing down, and I can judge, you know, depending on how long I've flared. And then as soon as I can judge being able to make Echo 4, I can take out the auto brake and then brake manually to take the Echo 4 exit. Should the tower tell us that we are allowed to go via Alpha 6, then I would take out the auto brake completely, because that's about 2,600 meters. And so even with auto brake low, it will mean that we would take ages to get to the Alpha 6 taxiway. Right, we've got speed. Open descent.
Lufthansa 3 Mike, Bremer Lohr identified. I call you back, traffic above.
So we're entering holding here. Fantastic.
Lufthansa 2 Alpha Mike, climb to flight level 60.
As published.
60 2 Alpha Mike. Lufthansa 415, turn right heading 090. Right heading 090, Lufthansa 45. Lufthansa 8 Papa Tango, turn left heading 200. Left heading 200, Lufthansa 8 Papa Tango. Austrian 1 Alpha.
No, Gillen, it depends where the holding is. But one thing we do is we're going to put the landing lights on. And so what we normally do in Gillen, we look how much, you know, what is the expected approach time. And how much longer do we take from the holding to the runway?
Canadian 2647, turn left heading north.
So I would say it takes about 15 minutes from the holding until landing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait with the signs until we leave the holding. Why do we do that? Because imagine if you have to fly 30 minutes holding and people really need to go to the toilet, but they can't because the seatbelt signs are on. Then, you know, you're going to start the approach, and then at some point, somebody's not going to be able to hold it any longer, and they're going to get up, and usually it's at the worst time, i.e. you're just on the ILS, and you get a call that a cabin isn't secure because somebody has just gotten up from their seats and went to the toilet. So you have to time that a bit better. Yeah, Fish Cup. No, it's not real world, I guess.
Lufthansa 8 Papa Tango, turn left heading 070. Left heading 070, Lufthansa 8 Papa Tango.
Good. Let's have a look at the fuel right now. So we did take precautions and take a bit of extra fuel. So Hanover is the alternate, and the weather in Hanover is fine. Cabo K21, no threats. So we can leave the final reserve at 30 minutes. And the trek miles, so the longest trek miles from the holding is 23, 27, 31, 35, 39, 44, 49, 53, 57, and another 8 miles, so 63 miles. Can't start. We're doing about 3 miles a minute, so that takes about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. So from the holding, if we have to fly the complete transition, 20 minutes means we'll need about 600, well, let's say 700 kilograms. Okay, so I have to deduct that from our fuel that we have currently. So we have minus 700, that's 3.6 tons. 3.6. And for diversion, we need 2 tons. So, or if I add the 700 kilograms to the 2 tons, so 2.7 tons is the latest time that I can leave the holding. So for me, I don't want to cut it too close, right? Let me just add another 300 kilograms buffer. So I'm going to take myself about 3 tons as a minimum fuel to leave the holding. That gives us 1,200 kilograms of holding fuel. So a minimum of half an hour. Hey Diego, if you float, you better go around. No. So, I mean, so look again at the landing performance, right? So automatic medium we need about
Leaving 2647.
1,400 meters. So let's go conservative. Let's say it's 1,500. Right. And Alpha 4, sorry, yeah, Echo 4 is 1,700. So we have about 300 meters, or let's say 200 meters buffer for the flare. So if I miss the touchdown zone, so the touchdown zone marker, 1,000-foot markers, I still have 200 meters more to touch down and still make Echo 4. Well, Captain Tolerance, we've got our experience, and sometimes it does take a long time in the holding. But right now we're relaxed. We have enough fuel, no problem. Good. Let's do a quick briefing. So the arrival briefing. So we're going to get the no-go transition, runway 15. The sector altitude is 2,200 feet. So 3,000 is definitely safe.
118-205,
Then we have 15. ILS approach, minimum is Barrow 260 feet. The go around goes as follows. Disregarding the holding, turning right, heading 330, Lufthansa 71 Bravo. So right, heading, select, or heading 330.
identified in the holding, descent to flight level 70.
Off we go.
Oscar 70 Masera, descent altitude 5,000 feet, QNH 1016.
So missed approach takes us heading 149, 3 miles from Alf on nav 1, left direct Hamburg, we climb 4,000.
Descent 60 and 290, Lufthansa 7 Captain.
So there we go, 3 miles, Hamburg 4,000. That's all programmed correctly. So the holding is now taken out.
70 Masera, turn right, heading 330, contact arrival 118205, course and only. Heading 330, 118205, course and only.
Right, extra fuel, we said we had about half an hour extra still, so still enough fuel. Even if we do a go around, we can do one more approach if it doesn't take too long. So right now there's no need to divert instantly if we go around. I'll be using initially flight director, the approach mode, and later I may just take out the autopilot and go flight directors off, bird on. The planned runway exit initially was Echo 4. If we are allowed, we'll take Alpha 6 at the crossing, and then we'll take out the auto brake in this case. But until then, we'll have auto brake medium. We've got 200 meters of flare distance available. Hotspots while crossing runway, obviously. Anything else regarding threats, specials, lots of traffic. Hamburg usually has birds, but here in the sim we should be fine.
Wings 2 Mike Kilo, descent to flight level 70.
And nothing else. Is it true that Lufthansa pilot to that due to airline did not possible for report? Well, yeah, that was something that caused quite a commotion because they diverted, or the ATC then instructed them to divert to, I think it was Oakland. No, not Oakland. Was it Oakland on the other side of San Francisco? Which costs a lot of money, right? Now, the problem was that was a big communication mess on both sides. So they got kind of heated. And initially what the pilot what the pilot did was he quoted his airline policy, but not correct in the sense that he is allowed to fly a visual at night. However, he's not allowed to do the visual behind. So do your own visual separation behind other aircraft at night time. That was the limitation. So he should have explained that maybe a bit more more clearly.
5000 QNH 1016, Papa.
71 Bravo, descend to flight level, descend 5000 feet, QNH 1016.
Descending 5000, QNH 1016, Lufthansa 71 Bravo. So we have 5000, open descent, thrust idle. And altimeters 1016, 8000 feet checked. Yeah, but Diego, at the meantime, they changed something there. So it's all history anyways now. Let me put the extended center line here. So we go to right 340 Lufthansa 71 Bravo. So I'm going to put DEVOT, the descent point, radial in.
Continue left heading 270.
Continue 270.
So opposite is going to be 339. Actually, 329. Sorry, 329. Yeah, so it's already there. 329. Insert, pull on the heading again.
Arrival 118.205, call sign only, Lufthansa 7 Papa.
So we have 10 miles, another 10, 20 way. We have about 30 track miles, so we're good with the altitude.
Heading 300, Condor 1, landed.
Lufthansa 6 Delta Echo, continue on heading 310.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the flare as well. I wonder how that's going to work today. Beautiful approach, sunset approach. Yes, map enhancements, correct. And this is actually real time. Yeah, real time. No, it's not. Hang on. Course on only on 118.205, Lufthansa 7 or Bravo. Oh no, it's not. I thought I put it on real time. Darn. Okay, we're gonna leave it there. We'll leave it because it looks beautiful. Yeah, it's a pro version, yeah.
2647, contact tower 126.855.
It's the paid version for me. Because of the cache, so I can cache scenery. Outstar. Like dann Abend, moin, die Lufthansa 7 Bravo.
7 Bravo, arrival, moin, descent 4000 feet.
Descending 4000, Lufthansa 7 Bravo. So thrust idle. Actually, let's do vertical speed, out blue 4000.
Papa, turn left heading 230.
I don't know what I did wrong. To be honest, I don't know. Die Elbe. Beautiful.
Kilo, course and only turn left heading 330. Left 330, Lufthansa 415, reduce speed 170 knots.
Right, time for a checklist, isn't it? We can do...
170 knots, reduce until 595.
Oops, we can do the descent checklist. Actually, approach checklist it's called here. Approach checklist, bar row ref. QNH 1016. Seatbelts. Oh.
Lufthansa 415, contact tower 126.855.
Talk too much. Seatbelts on. Minimum bar row 260 feet. Auto brake medium. Engine mode selector normal. Approach checklist complete.
3 Lima Charlie, turn right heading 090. Lufthansa 2 Mike Papa, turn correction, reduce speed.
Yeah, so Captain Tolerance in the starting menu I put in exactly the time. So real time. But I didn't tick the real time, so always use real time. I don't have that ticked. And so I think it's exactly that what happened. That X-plane then didn't apply the daylight saving time change. Hey, Ababika.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Twitch channel subscriber experience. Could new subscribers please make your way to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks and premium flight entertainment will be served. Thank you.
No, not Ultra, no. So
84? That's already 7 Christmas. They never stop coming.
Exactly. It's Christmas soon, Altamika. Just saying. Thank you so much, 84 months. Altamika, I hope you're doing well. Greetings, greetings. Nice to see you. And there was a question regarding, no, so in-game settings, honestly, unless maybe using DLSS, frame generation, you can't really put everything to Ultra. Here in X-Plane, you can't. Unless you want to have like only 30 FPS, then maybe yes. So ILS, India Hotel Sierra is identified. Yep. That's the correct answer. Will you fly the CSS 737? I'm gonna have a look at it. Hey Toto. So X-Plane doesn't deal in daylight savings time. That's okay. So Toto, the question is then, I selected my local time in the start screen, and then I went into the sim. So I don't know why it's 1 hour ahead right now to what I put in. Astur, I would love to use lossless scaling. The problem is I'm using 3 monitors and I have different things on all the different monitors, like right, 050 Lufthansa 7 on Bravo. So I have like OBS on one screen, I have my chat window on the other monitor, and I always have problems when I use lossless scaling and then I put the mouse pointer on a different monitor. And X-Plane, you have to add 60 minutes in the settings. Okay. Yeah, I missed that somehow, so my bad. Okay, so totally, yeah, thanks. I have to check that next time. I have to be, once I spawn in, I have to make sure that I check the time. I just assumed that the time is set correctly. So yeah, you know, my bad, but it's not that terrible. Because that way we get a beautiful sunset. Right. Right heading 120, cleared the ILS 15, Lufthansa 7 on Bravo. Cool. Pretty far out, 25 miles out. I only have a localizer, so just arming the localizer now, lock blue. And look at that, nice. Speed back 190, Lufthansa 7 on Bravo. I was just about to say, good on the separation. Flaps 1, speed check, flaps 1. I'm going to cheat a bit. I'm going to put 193 because I don't want to put the flaps out of 2 now. It just adds so much drag. So right now we only have the slats out, right? So the flaps are still in. Right. So 193 will not make a big difference. Right, we have lock star. Ah, beautiful.
Echo turn right heading 330, descent altitude 4,000 feet. Right heading 330 and descending 4,000 feet to the descent echo.
That looks nice.
Wing 53 Lima, turn right heading 050, descent altitude 3,000 feet.
Yeah, Toto, that's assured. That is assured. Microsoft or Windows always does the most wonderful things. Yeah. MG King.
Wing 53 Lima, speed 200.
Let's put it this way. I mean, 3 knots, honestly, it does not make any big difference. Now, if it's more than 3 knots, then I would ask ATC for permission. But 3 knots for me is just, you know, honestly, usually the speed varies because of turbulence or, you know, wind gusts. It always varies like 1 or 2 knots anyway. So, you know, 3 knots is just, it's not worth talking about. Okay, I can see a glide slope now. Let's push the approach button. So we have glide slope blue, cut through dual, autopilot 1+2. Yeah, that looks great.
Bravo, speed 180, not 6 miles final.
Speed 180 to 6, Lufthansa 7 on Bravo. Okay, now we're flaps 2, speed checked. So 180 to 6. Now we have to put the flaps out. Here they come.
Lufthansa 6 Delta Echo, turn left heading 250, speed 200. Left heading 250 and speed 200 to 6 Echo.
Yeah, Ronald. Yeah. On busy airports, you will get several instructions regarding speed. So that is actually quite realistic, yeah.
Lufthansa 6 Delta Echo, turn left heading 180, cleared ILS 15. Left heading 180 and cleared ILS 15.
Yeah, so Arju, my minimum speed for flaps 1 was 193 knots. And instruction was 190. The thing is, if I go 3 knots below S speed, the aircraft will not fall out of the sky, but I am actually below maneuvering speed for flaps 1. So for my SOPs, for procedure use, or correct procedure use, I would have had to put the flaps to the second notch, so it flaps 2, which then puts out the flaps, which causes more drag. And if we still have to fly a very long time to the airport, I want to try to reduce the drag as long as possible. That's why 26855. Dankeschön, tschüss, Lufthansa 71 Bravo. So that's why I kept them, or kept the speed at 193 knots. So missed approach 4000 is set. Hamburg Tower, moin, die Lufthansa 71 Bravo, ILS 15. So instruction was until 6 miles, 180. We will do that. I'm already going to put these lights on because otherwise I'm going to forget. So Devo 3000, we are at the correct altitude, so the glide slope is correct. We've got the runway ahead. Now, I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna go manual flight, autopilot, auto thrust off. Not matched yet, so there we go. So it is manual flying and bird on.
2,500.
It's checked, and we have a bit of crosswind, so that's a bit of a challenge now today. 7 miles. The moment of truth. Yeah. I'm going to try to do the inputs as I always do, and then see what happens. Right, gears coming down. Speed is managed. Flaps 3, speed check. Flaps 3. And flaps 4, speed checked. Flaps 4.
Hamburg to Moin, Delta Golf Hotel Klima, ja, lange Endanflug bis zu 05.
So it's like a long final runway on 5. Landing checklist, ECMIMO, landing no blue. This will be a great test because we have about 15 knots crosswind from the left.
Mit 050 Grad Einsatznoten bis 05, Landung frei, halten Sie vorm Pistenkreuz.
Lol.
Delta Yankee Lima, Pits 05, Landung frei und Wilko.
So if he doesn't say explicitly that we're allowed to cross at Alpha 6, 1000's check, then we are going to go for Echo 4. So the first high speed to the left.
Also my Kilo taxi über Echo 1, Route of runway 05.
Taxi über Echo 1, Route runway 05,
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, clear to vacate Echo 4, wind 05 to release 11 up, runway 15, clear to land.
Cleared land 15. We'll vacate Echo 4. Copied Lufthansa 71 Bravo. So now we got the confirmation that he wants us out at Echo 4 as briefed. Yeah, speed.
Lufthansa 7 Mike Papa, cross runway 05 on the other side, contact Hamburg Apron on 121, decimal 705.
So already right now I'm feeling with the speed trends, I'm definitely fighting more with the wind gusts.
Hamburg Tower, Moin, Lufthansa 6 Delta Echo. Let's 15.
So 6 Delta Echo, Hamburg Tower, Moin.
300 above.
Wow, it is gusty.
Minimum.
Continue.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
Speed.
aboard the Captain Black Box Infotainment Experience. New subscribers should now pick up their pass to first class. Thank you.
Whoa, Jesus. Spoilers. That felt weird. Got spoilers, reverse a green, decel. That felt really weird. Right, manual brakes. Auto brake is off. Here's Echo 4. That did not feel right, I'm sorry to say. And Mark, thank you much for the gifted sub. Terrible timing though, I may say. Unless that was purpose. Right, let's get the speed brakes in. Flaps up.
For Lilliput 1, running up to the police bed, 2 BOPs ready for westbound departure, to intercept Alpha, leaving via the highway southbound.
Lilliput 1, Roger, leave, yeah, for now proceed direct to the west, wind 05 release, 1 city pad police dead for takeoff.
Lilliput 1, police bed, clear takeoff, westbound departure approved.
Wow, that's busy. Look at that. How much traffic we have here.
Tower, good day, Connor 1 for Tango, ILS-15.
So what happened? Initially, I did my input as I would always do with the flare. Initially, nothing happened. The aircraft didn't even react. So literally, I was again almost at maximum stick input. And then suddenly, the pitch went up like crazy. So it was like, it felt like initially, it was like a nose down moment from the fly-by-wire system, i.e. flare mode, and then suddenly, as if it was neutralized, and then suddenly it would take my input and put the nose up like crazy. That completely different what I had last time. A refund, please.
Getting via Delta 9, we were to first wings 5 Lima.
Oh, Svenja, you're not used. That's true. You're not used to a landing without going. No, it was. I don't think it was a wind gust. No. I don't think so, honestly. Maverick, I don't know. I don't know exactly where the problem is. But it just did not feel natural. It felt really strange. Well, the flight model is okay, so it felt really good until the flare.
The Belle 1, contact Hamburg Tower on 121.280.
Did you see that, Mudflap? So you're saying that the wind changed from... Yeah, but it wouldn't cause such a pitch up. The thing is that I was in the flare, I was reducing power. And even if you have the wind changing to the front a little bit, it doesn't cause a pitch up like that.
The 71 Bravo cross runway 05 on the other side, contact Hamburg apron on 121.705 by.
Okay, quick crossing, runway 05, other side, 121.980. Lufthansa 71 Bravo, dankeschön. So let's check.
You can see 121.705.
Oh, 121.705. Sorry, Lufthansa 7 or Bravo. Right side is clear. I don't know. I don't know if it's a wind shear or not. But the thing is, though, I would have to do some more landings to try it. Right, there we go. So let me just have a look at the parking stands here. So we have Zulu 1. Apron Moin, die Lufthansa 71 Bravo, just vacated. Okay, Zulu 3, Zulu 5, just confirm, and then position 5. That doesn't make sense. So I was expecting... Okay, 5 to the position, now I get it. Via Zulu 3 to the right. That's copied, Lufthansa 7, no Bravo. I was hoping for a parking stand at the gate here somewhere, but now we have to park here. Lol, okay.
Apron Moin, Swiss 3 at Golf. We are fully ready, 03 Bravo.
What time is it? Yeah, guys, okay, so what we'll do, I'll take Reynolds' advice. We're going to log off VATSIM after we've parked, and we're going to do some touch and goes. Here's 52. Wow, it is really busy here. Good God, look at...
Ja, jetzt haben wir schon gestartet.
Crazy.
Ja, ist gut, dann mein Fehler passt. Kannst du die Bauernschein pushen.
Danke. Hamburg, Lufthansa 6 sehr gut.
No, Umo, this is a completely different platform. This is X-Plane. And this aircraft is made by a company called Toliss. So, parking brake set. We have the APU available. Yeah, we'll do a replay as well, yeah. Yeah, we'll do that as well. Then maybe what we could do, we can have a look at the wind data and see if we did actually get a shift in the wind. So let's do a parking checklist. Parking. Parking brakes are chocks. Parking brake is set. We have engines off, wing lights off, and fuel pumps off. Cool. Right, let me quickly show you guys the new official or officially compatible scenery for Hamburg. Looks very nice. Performance is great as well. Really lovely. And Hamburg with Simhaven scenery.
Apron, good day. Condor 1 for Tango Zulu 3.
So I'm going to log off VATSIM. Then we'll do replay. And maybe we can find out what happened there. Okay, but the problem is we don't see the wind data, unfortunately.
300 above.
So, but it was definitely a little bit gusty. You could see that I had some issues to maintain the speed. Do we get the stick inputs? Oh yeah, here, look at that. So let's have a look at the speed, at the stick inputs.
50, 40, 30,
Look,
20,
look.
retard, 10,
So, well, it happened really quickly, but let me do that in slow motion. So,
10, retard, 20, 30, 40, 50.
so there we go. So here comes 50 feet, right? Here's when the flare mode engages.
40.
So I'm already inputting some back pressure there. More back pressure. That's almost full back pressure. On speed, that's full back pressure now. And then I realized that the pitch just went really fast. Look at that, 7 degrees, 7.5 degree pitch. I neutralized the stick to keep the nose from raising. And now I'm kind of struggling to get the aircraft down. So the initial disturbance, the initial thing that really caused then the upset was really the fact that the initial brake didn't work. So a quick look here at the rear of the aircraft. So let's have a look at the elevators, right? So look how the elevators now are deflecting. Look, now almost full, look at that, almost, now full nose up, and then now the aircraft takes the brake. So yeah, let's have a look at the indicated airspeed then. So let's have a look here. Right, so we're coming down. So here we got just 1 or 2 knots below the target speed, increasing thrust.
30, 20, retard. Retard.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Yes, a mud flap, good catch. Definitely a change in wind. So it was a combination. It was kind of a a combination that I had a lot of elevator input to get the aircraft into the flare initially. And then we got a wind gust from the front. So the indicated airspeed rose by 10 knots, which is quite a lot. And then with that max elevator input, that did cause the nose to go up. Now regarding, is it necessary to go around? No, because we said we can flare 200 meters past the touchdown markers. So my goal was to touch down somewhere in here, latest really, knowing that, look, and I made that, so there's no requirement to go around, but yeah. Cool, okay, so that was that. Let me just do the following then. Let me go and to get rid of that risk regarding wind changes. Yeah, it is a nice forensics, I agree. So let me go back to Hamburg. Let me go back to runway. Well, let's do 23. That's fine. So 23. And we're going to put the weather to manual and just going to put that to clear. And hopefully that will give us no wind. So flaps to 1. So just a quick pattern without any wind, hopefully. And then for the weights, let me just put in weights here, loading, performance, 157, and we're going to put the fuel to this. So the weight will be 62, yeah, 62.5 tons, that's fine. So let me put that there. Some standard values to depart. Let's put 3,000 in there. Oops. Yeah, so standard atmospheric pressure 1013 is fine. 3,000 runway heading here is set. Spoilers. Good. Let's go. Mantoga, SRS, Autoschloss Blue. Yeah, the side stick cam isn't working, unfortunately. It sometimes has issues. V1, rotate. Pause, right, gear up. So let's do a visual pattern. Flight directors off, bird on. 500 feet, we'll start a left downwind turn. 500 feet, left we go. Auto thrust off. Leave the flaps at position 1. We're going to level off at 1600 feet. That looks pretty nice, actually. That's a Scandi hotel. It's interesting that's the TV tower. Interesting that you can actually recognize these buildings. Very nice. So let's take the ILS-23, insert. There we go. Just so that I have some bearings where I need to go. 1600 feet, that looks good. Activate the approach phase. 1013. 15 degrees. Now the wind though, why is it, hang on, why is the wind so strong? I don't want the wind to be that strong. Wind. Ah, there we go. So now the wind is pretty much calm. What you mean? Hey Yoda. Okay, so we're pretty much a beam. I'm going to deduct a couple of seconds there. Here comes flaps 2, speed is checked. Flaps 2, speed managed. So I'm going to go about 30 seconds outbound. Here comes gear down. Flaps 3, speed checked. Flaps 3. And we'll do a config full landing. And flaps full. Speed checked, flaps full. Speed brakes are armed. There's the runway. Let's keep descending 3 miles. So would it be 1,000 feet? Here comes the glide slope. Let's check. Careful with the sink rate. Let's try to get to the normal values here. There's the runway. 1 white, 3 red. We're waiting for the landing checklist. There it is. Landing checklist complete. Speed is a bit low. Let's correct that. Airbus is not about a perfect visual round right now. It's just about the flare. That's all we're trying to test here. Otherwise, I would have extended the path a little bit more. So I just want to see if we don't have any wind influence, if the flare really has changed in the Toliss. Good. So on speed, coming down.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, drive.
Okay. So, yeah, that felt better. That felt better. The thing, though, I don't know. It's either the flare mode induces a pitch mode that's a little bit too big. Either that, or by thrust reduction, the nose drops. So let me just test that really quickly. We'll do one more landing. And what I'm going to do now is I am going to just pitch the nose up and leave the power in. So not reduce the thrust. And then let's see what happens in this case. Downrange, I didn't really draw anything in. I just did the extended center line on the... Right, let me just have a look here quickly. Let's do that. Where am I? Here. Flaps to 1. Reset. I don't know. It just felt to me that the moment that I reduced the thrust, the nose drops. It just doesn't feel right. And yes, I did update the aircraft today. This is the latest version. Let's do that. Performance. One, 3, 5, 1, 3, A. Yeah, I always put GG. No, so Brennelt, this is that's just the difference between a conventional aircraft and the Airbus. So the Airbus still has fly-by-wire, and that's why it has that artificial nose-down pitch moment in the flare, so that you have to pull back on the stick to get a more conventional feel. But the thrust reduction should not cause the nose to drop. Forward brake gear up. So let's do a better timing this time. So that's all set. Performance. Activate the approach phase. Otherwise, now at the moment the flight model is nice. So the way the aircraft handles right now, really, really nice. Absolutely no complaints whatsoever. So we're only really complaining about the flare, right? Start timing, flaps 2, speed check, flaps 2. Speed managed. Maybe something due to weight balance. Man, it could be. I'm not saying it can't be, but I would have assumed they would take this into account, to be honest. Astor, we definitely saw that so the first landing was due to a wind gust, so positive kind of wind shear that caused a pitch up. So in order for that to counteract that, or take that out of the equation, flaps 3, speed check, flaps 3. Flaps full, speed check, flaps full. HD Sim, hello. There's the runway. On path. 1,000, let's check this. Ronald, no, we're trying to. I don't have that much time today. I need to do one more flight. It's getting late again. Tomorrow we have to get up early to get to the airport. Right, so landing checklist completed. On path, on speed, everything's good. So just pull back for the flare, keep the back pressure, but we're going to leave the power as it is. So we're not going to touch the thrust levers. Yeah, Brennell, tomorrow, early tomorrow morning. So power is good. Speed is good. You see? I don't have to pull back that much. And now I cut the... yeah, now the nose drops. So it's definitely the thrust. 100%. Hey, Yoshi. That's my opinion. Something's still wrong with the thrust coupling. Thrust pitch coupling. So that's... So right now, I just left the thrust at 50%. I just had to pull back a little bit to get into flare and then just hold it a little bit. I didn't have to pull back fully, and there was no just sudden nose drop as you put the thrust to idle. And then as I put the thrust levers to idle, the nose dropped. Hey, Peter. Yeah, so that's all I can say. Now, what I can do, let me just have a look at the version number, just to make sure that I'm not running a wrong version or something. Let me have a look. So maybe you can check as well, right? So I've got, well, that's just one thing with, that's not really important. But 1.1.5 for the 320. That's the one I'm running. And that's the latest one it gives me. Mark says here's the same version. Yeah. Do it again. Can you have a look at as well what version you're running, maybe? That would be good. All right, guys, I've got to hurry up now. I've got to get ready quickly for the next stream. So once again, thank you so much to Kenko for the raid. Thank you everyone for watching and supporting. I'm going to go now and fly the A350 INI builds version 1.09 in Microsoft 2024 from Munich to Palma. Nate, yes, the fly-by-wire should compensate that. Exactly. Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Give me about 10 minutes. I'll be back again. Thank you so much, everyone. Until a couple of minutes from now. See ya.